Hi, everybody. Welcome to the next episode of Luck and Chaos, episode 3, Strange Waters. Let's go around and everybody go ahead and introduce yourself and who you're playing tonight. And then we'll get our little recap video going. The lovely Yuiza is giving us our recap tonight.
Hi, my name's Zachary Vaudo. I'm playing Arat Kshizhin, the Wild Oracle.
Hi everyone, my name's Satan or Alessa Vamp on the internet, and I'll be playing Yuiza, our Wood Elf Rogue.
Well, howdy there. I'm Abby, and tonight I'll be taking on the role of Fisscourth, the Hooling Cleric.
Hey everybody, I'm RJ. Today I'm playing Shen, the Human Barbarian.
With that, let's go ahead and have Yuiza tell us in her own words what happened last week.
Hi everyone, Yuiza here. Oh my god, let me tell you what happened. After we finally left the Pink Dragon, we made our way over to the Warden's Guildhall and they were already waiting for us. Godwin took us to meet Toby Glimspark, the head of the Wardens, and this hunky tiefling named Pascal. We did a group interview with Toby to let him know how awesome we are, and of course, they offered us jobs on the spot and they gave us a crazy amount of money. I have never had that much money in my life all at one time. This went to the library while the rest of us went to the ones want to see Arabelle again. She had some rooms available that we rented out and she was super nice. She's a little anxious but super sweet. She then gave us a tour and showed us our room, which were so big. I even got the room to myself. And I got to buy a bag of holding from her. It's purple. She liked us so much that she gave us our first official quest as a group. We hurried to go to the forest where we met to get her ingredients she needed for her shop. We're doing really well, avoiding a bear and everything. There was one weird thing though. We saw a well there the first time we got there, but it wasn't there anymore, which was really weird. We went deeper into the forest and we crossed the river to get the last ingredient we needed, but before we could get it, some weird little twig creatures came out of the tree. We're doing fine until one of them decided to attack me while I was scraped to get this bark for Arabelle, which was super rude, so we definitely had to fight them. Sulong hit them with this really cool fan boomerang. Arat used his car magic to summon vines and trap them, and I did what I do best. I stabbed them. After a while, more kept showing up, so we had to make a run for it. But we got out safely. We headed back to Dulhan, our first quest completed and ready to get paid. But on the way there, we saw the same world that was in the woods before, but somewhere else. Wolves aren't supposed to move, right? After Sulong told us this really creepy story of a girl that came out of a well to kill you if you read a scroll, I wanted to check if my trinket was still in the well. It was. It's not supposed to still be there. I hope I'm not in danger.
Last week, unfortunately, we did not have Fisscourth with us. Fiss was off researching a great many things, expanding her mind, and looking maybe for the latest fashions. Fiss, what are you doing as we leave you behind in the Warden's Guildhall?
After bidding my most glorious party farewell, it's been such a long time since I've been around so many books. I'm not certain where to begin, but those children outside, they seemed very developed. I should begin there. Let's start with childhood development. I think the founding thing of any culture is children and its youth. Let's begin with childhood development.
The leader of the Wardens, Toby, looks very uncomfortable at the thought of having to explain child rearing to anyone in general. But he takes you around, and he will actually take you over to another room in the Warden's from his office. He will take you over into this room.
Oh.
Their little library. I can't. We don't have much, and there's no actual library in the village yet. You might be able to find some personal books from other folks about town, but you're welcome to look around here as much as you want. And before he can finish talking, from the back door of the room, you hear, "Woof, woof, woof," and you hear a metallic thud, scrape, thud, scrape. And Toby says, "One moment, he'll scratch up the door." And he turns around and opens the door, and you see behind him, nearly as tall as he is. You've never seen a metal dog before, but this thing
I haven't even seen a normal dog.
This thing stands nearly 3 feet tall at shoulder height. Fully metal, gears whirring, but the way the face articulates, there is no mistaking it for something of the canine variety. And Toby will turn to you and say, please don't be alarmed. This is my childhood nanny, Pershing. And the dog will sit with a metallic thud and a boom as its rear end hits the wood floor.
How
And
do
it
you do,
lolls its head to the
Pershing?
side.
I immediately extend. You know, it's polite to shake hands, so I've been told, so I extend a limb to shake hands with Pershing.
Pershing will rear back onto its hind legs and extend one paw out to you.
So polite.
As you take
Totally.
the paw, you feel actual leathery pads on the bottom. And you can feel the toes articulate as a actual animal's toe would articulate. It's incredibly detailed, this creature.
And this Pershing raised you? You raised this young man?
Well, sometimes he likes to act like he didn't know. He was, my grandfather was very, protective of my mom. And my mom, got into a lot of trouble as a kid. And then he just kind of brought Pershing over one day and didn't take him back home. And then, well, when my mom passed, he decided he liked me best, and now he won't go stay with anyone else. So
I see a foundling. Well, I look forward to studying in your presence, Pershing. You seem to be very trustworthy. If not, what are you made of exactly? She just lightly taps the structures.
Pershing will wiggle himself into the room right up next to you and flop over onto his back, exposing his metallic belly. Apparently, he asks for belly rubs, even though he has no skin. And he will, you'll get the explanation that Toby doesn't actually know what he's made from. He knows generally how to repair most mechanical breakdowns, but he's made of some rare alloys that his grandfather got during his travels.
Fascinating. Is this standard childcare? Were you all raised by metallic beings? And as she says, so she's just giving her Pershing scratches.
No, we really, no, most people, no, not really. And the person sitting over on the sofa trying to quietly read a book near you turns and says, "No, not everyone is raised by a metallic creature," and turns back their head and begins reading again.
Oh, well, I suppose I'd best begin my studies. Thank you for the introduction, and I promise to leave your library in prime condition. After all, I am a scholar, and I'm noted in my presence in libraries, yes.
Oh, wonderful. Well, like I said, what's ours is yours here. Just, make sure you maintain don't make any of the spines fall off. I'm gonna go take him for a walk. And Toby will exit the building with Pershing hot on his heels, bouncing a ball up and down in his hand.
Oh.
So, what are you looking for next?
Well, we have some idea of how children are raised, not communally, but not by metal beings. You know, this whole payment and board thing seems to be a bit confusing. Is there anything on financial literacy?
Roll me an investigation check.
Oh boy. I've got -2 to that. Oh, that's a nat 20.
Yes, you find Economics in You, the beginner's guide to starting your own accounts. It talks about these 7 accounts that every person should own in great detail, and why everyone should own these as well to build their own personal wealth, which is actually a real article out there. And you are able to peruse that and get a better sense of personal banking.
This is Look, I was raised communally, but we shared everything. I wasn't aware. I need my own accounts? I'm talking to myself aloud because I don't understand that there are rules in the library not to be quiet.
The person sitting on the couch goes, I think you will find there are rules for everything.
Fisscourth, pops her head from out behind this book and eyes this person.
They are a tall elf, probably nearly 6'1". They have paper white skin with dark eyebrows and long, flowing, straight, dark hair that comes down to about their waist. Their eyes are emerald green with a black sclera, and they almost seem to shimmer from within. And their fingers, as they flip through the pages of their book, are stained in patches of a deep forest green. The color snakes up their arms, up into the sleeves, where they're rolled up at the elbow, almost as if traveling through their veins and capillaries in their skin.
Fisscourth is going to just sort of clamber over the back of the couch, plop herself right down next to this person. Oh, Fisscourth, that is what I'm called. It's so lovely to meet you. You are knowledgeable about these sorts of things, these rules? I'm only familiar with a few rules, and I do not wish to offend.
They turn and stare at you with a blank expression, snap their book closed, and cross their legs, setting the book aside. Most people know these things. Did no one teach you how to care for yourself?
I know how to care. My mothers did excellently, as did the rest of my colony. I just do not understand the rules of the surface. I come from the Underdark.
That makes sense. What is it that you're looking for?
Anything and everything, really.
Well, if you look for things that broad, you'll never be satisfied with what you find.
Isn't that the belief that we should carry within us in our hearts? Always a student, never the master.
Don't worry. One day you may find that it's fun to be the one in control. Are you only looking for economics?
Well, yes, actually. Right now that seems to be the thing that most people on the surface are consumed with. Purchases and deposits, and it seems so complex.
It's not really. It's an exchange of money, which we give an arbitrary value, for the things which we need to survive that we cannot get for ourselves.
See. Isn't that awfully cruel, though, what if you don't have money? I didn't have money before I walked in this door.
Then you will likely starve or beg or steal it.
Fisscourth actually pulls a little bit into herself with that statement. It's so stark. Everyone's expected to fend for themselves. There's nothing to fall back on. No colony, no communal pool, none of this.
Not usually. Not here, anyways. This place is, and she gestures to broadly, indicating the village itself. This place is new. Its infrastructure is still developing. There are other places where people do not necessarily need for things. However, they still choose to work and contribute and make their own money to buy beyond what is given to them.
See. Thank you for this. I apologize. I never did quite your name. What may I call you?
Amelie Dracolos. And she extends a hand to you.
Oh my goodness. Fisscourth will extend a limb as well and shake it heartily.
Is there anything else I can assist you in finding?
I was going to finish reading this, but actually, could I ask for the pleasure of your company? I'm not quite used to being alone. I'm always used to, bustling, having communal caves, and I speak quite a bit when I'm nervous, so you have to apologize for my tone. Yes.
Don't worry. I have many siblings. I'm used to the noise.
How many?
She gives you a quizzical look. Roll insight.
Oh, that is an 11.
I have 6 siblings in total.
Only 6?
Yes. My parents would like more. But the last 2 they adopted have proven to be a handful.
Oh, I see. Always one who has to stick their neck out a little too further. My mothers would agree with your parents there. I was a bit of a handful before I left home. Always with questions.
You sound like my sister. I think you and Farah would get along well.
Is Farah here with the wardens? Are you with the wardens?
Yes, most people in this building are with the wardens, and you see on her face the slightest hint of a smile.
I might have assumed that. I'm going to listen more than I talk. You are incredibly wise, Amelie.
An eyebrow quirks at that. All right. What would you like me to talk about?
Oh my god.
Do you need a glass of water? You look a bit pink.
I'm always pink. This is how I was, at least how I was born. I'm curious, Amelie, how does one make their place in this big, wide, open, wall-less world?
Well, it depends. If you want to get rich, you make money and then you invest it. If you just want to do something with your life, you figure out what that is and then you go after it. If you want to get away from something, you look for things to do that are as far away from that thing as you possibly can go.
So lots of movement. Moving about. That's what they did mention in this account book, and Fiss's attention immediately turns back to the book, which she's now holding sideways, as she thinks she's getting more perspectives. Just utterly fascinating. And she'll just settle herself more deeply into that couch. She is settled.
All
God,
right.
and I'm so gay. I'm losing my words.
Is there anything else that you look for while you are in the library?
No, Fiss right now wants to get a hold on the economy.
Okay. Sounds good. So you spend most of the morning there, actually. Your friends did say that they were going to head over to Arabelle's to arrange for rooms. Do you, at any point, head out looking for them?
Probably about halfway through a particularly boring chapter about landlords. Disgusting creatures. Fiss, will close her book shut. Are we allowed to borrow these?
Yes, you can take them. Just make sure you bring them back in the condition that you took them out in. Otherwise, it's customary to give Toby either a replacement of equal value or pay the damages.
Of course. Well, I'm going to continue studying, but I have friends that I must speak with. But it was very nice meeting you, Amelie.
I enjoyed our conversation as well. Enjoy your day.
I'll just enthusiastically wave and totter out of the library. God, I am just so gay, Sarah. She's just so mysterious and tall.
All right. Where do you head next?
I head over to, remind me of the name. I just forgot it.
The Wands Want?
The Wands Want, yes.
Okay. You head on over to the Wands Want. There is a note tacked to the door.
Oh.
Fisscourth reads common, correct?
Yes, she does.
Okay. It says, in bullet points, had to go out. We'll be back late. If you need to purchase anything, come back tomorrow. I'm busy. Arabelle. P.S. Miss Fisscourth, if you come by. Your friends went into the woods to pick up some supplies. And you are left with a rough map of their trajectory and a note that everyone will be returning here for dinner.
Oh, well, it still is early in the day. I should go find them. I need to explain to them about landlords and rent payments and the 7 accounts necessary to life. They need to know this, especially since we are now a colony.
Okay. And you head out. Do you fly out or do you just start taking the road?
People have been pretty freaked out when they see me taking wing. There have been many bolts flown into my direction when I do that. We're going to walk.
Okay.
It's awkward, but it works.
Okay. You can go ahead and start your walk. While you are doing that, we are going to go check in on our pals by the side of the road. Last we left off, Yuiza, you had just discovered that your tooth was still functioning in the well. And you all realized that the well had moved from its previous place in the forest to a spot closer to the side of the road, but still behind the tree line.
This is not normal, yes?
No. So, Okay. You know how I like dropped my tooth into it?
You mentioned, yes.
Yeah. And my tooth is still in there. It's not supposed to be in there anymore. Usually once I use it, it like gets destroyed and stuff like that, you know? It's still in there.
Your tooth is still in there.
My tooth is still in there.
Do you see any waterlogged women?
No, just water.
Any drowned dames?
That is unnerving.
Yeah. A little bit, yeah. It's you know what? We are not going to think about it right now. We're just not going to think about it right now. It's fine.
Perhaps we should think about it at some point, but I agree, we have supplies to return.
Yeah,
So
I mean, I could go and get it.
I possibly would not enter this at the moment if we have no idea what it is, and if it moves on its own, we might not find you again.
Yeah, cursed moving well where something that's supposed to not be there is still there. That's... No.
But there was no lady, no girl like you said with the scroll thing, though. There wasn't.
Oh, that's...
But perhaps nobody has read the scroll yet.
I haven't read the creepy scroll, so I don't...
Well, I certainly haven't.
As
That's
you
funny.
continue this conversation, you see coming down the road towards you a large white bat.
Yes! Yuiza! Oh my gosh! So long! Oh, it feels like it's been a day. Possibly more. And I just come, strutting over. I've got a big old book under my arm, my wing. Are you all quite well?
Yes.
well...
Yeah.
Yes, we've retrieved supplies for Arabelle.
Oh, yes.
You know,
Hard
you
work.
know that well we saw in the forest?
Yes? The
What
one that you
was
dropped
it?
your tooth down?
Yeah, that one. Well, it wasn't there anymore. And then now it's over there. She'll point to where it is.
It appears to have relocated.
Yeah.
Do wells normally walk on the surface?
No.
No.
Not that I have come to know.
Fascinating, but also that does not sound particularly safe. That someone could fall down into that. That would be terrible.
I mean, it has a lid. But like, I was like, ooh, let me see if I can check my tooth. Because I can see through it. Don't worry about it. And then it still was there.
You can see
And-
through your teeth?
I said, don't worry about it. Anyway, and it's not supposed to be there.
Here I am unable to see at all, and some people are seeing through their teeth.
I mean, I could also see through like a fingernail or like hair. It's fine.
Some of us are blessed.
Arat.
I'm kidding. I'm fine. But I'm also more curious as to how you are able to perform these abilities. But we can come back to this after we figure out perhaps why this is happening in the first place.
I certainly hope it isn't following us. That would be terrible. We'd all be waterlogged.
Did you find what you were seeking in your research?
Oh, yes! So much! Are you aware that landlords can charge for land that they don't even live on and don't even have to give you anything for it, but they can charge you exorbitant fees, which we only have so much of in this finite world?
Yes, that's why I've never used one myself.
But you can also extort your landlord and then you don't have to pay fees.
This book didn't say anything about that.
Oh, that's because it's illegal.
Some things you must learn outside of text.
Street smarts.
Street smarts, yes. But I've learned much, and I've met new faces, but I did find myself longing for you all. Is there anything I could do? Do we need to report the well? Is there a protocol for walking bodies of water?
We perhaps should tell the man that we met, Toby, about this incident, but we also have supplies to return to Miss Arabelle.
Oh, yes, she was out. She said she'd be back by dinner.
Oh, yes. I told her to go get some ingredients. I'm making dinner for you.
Yuiza, you are so sweet. This is genuinely just...
And we
She's holding her cheeks.
and we have been told by Miss Arabelle that we have room and board. We do not need to worry about paying for that.
Oh, yeah, I hope you don't mind. We picked out a room for you. You were not there.
I wasn't sure how big your wingspan was, so we went for the larger room, and there should be extra curtains coming in for the sun.
This sounds very... I'm very grateful, but what is a curtain?
It is something to keep the light out. I understand that you are sensitive to it.
The fabric hangs over a window and it keeps the light out. Or filters it.
Sulong pulls out a bullseye lantern, lights it, and then just shuts the lid.
I understand we have opposite problems, so more curtains for you, fewer for me.
Also, I got this really pretty bag from Arabelle. Look, and she's like shaking the side of her hip where it's at. It's purple.
It's so lovely. There are so many things.
Look at this. Wait, look at this. And she just sticks her entire arm into it.
This is genuinely concerned. She's worried that you're gonna fall, so like she reaches out to grab you.
Is something happening?
I got the bag
Yuiza
of
just
holding.
stuck her arm into the bag of holding.
Oh, I've heard that's not.
Yuiza's eating you.
No, it's not eating me. It's just it's got a lot more space than what you think it does.
From what I've heard, do not put your head in the bag and then close it, though I cannot possibly imagine why you would think to do so in the first place.
I mean, Sulong will walk over and he'll also stick his arm in the bag. I mean, it's all fine. He's like, oh my god!
Oh no! So lovely! The bagman has you!
Who's the bagman, and why does he live in the bag? Why are we bringing the bag with us if the bagman is in the bag?
There is no bagman. There's no bagman.
And when Sulong pulls their arm out, their hand is missing, but then he'll just shove his hand out through the sleeve.
You are a very funny man, Sulong, but that does not mean that you are wise.
Need help carrying that fist? And we'll point to the book.
Oh no, I'm going to read as we walk. That's what I did while I was heading here.
May I, like, just drifting over your shoulder to steer you as you read?
Oh yes, I bumped into so many poles that way.
From what I heard, you run into things if you can't see where you're going.
Really?
I will
you know this,
bump my elbow against Arat to signify that if he needs my arm, he can take it.
I will take it, but I have the stick out in front of me as well.
Oh, we're all helping each other. It's so sweet.
Yeah, you all head back to town. Are you going straight to the Wands Want?
Sure.
Okay. You can get there, and like Fisscourth said, it's not too long after. There is a note on the door explaining that Arabelle will be back. You realize as you stand outside, she did not give you a key to get in without her.
Should we perhaps try to enter another way, or should we wait until she comes back? I do not know how long it will be until dinner is supposed to be.
I can try and open the door.
I could. It are the windows. I've heard that. I've never crawled into someone's window without permission, of course. But I'm saying maybe we could go through.
I think I may have left my window open for airing.
I can try.
Okay.
I'm gonna like just sort of step back and let Yuiza do her thing, but I'm also gonna like walk around the building, sort of like running my stick along the side of it to look for another way in.
Okay. I'm watching Yuiza intently.
Yeah,
He takes out.
you find a couple windows around the building.
Well, I'm actually doing something away from everybody else on purpose, but I'm making it look like I'm doing it to walk away from everybody else.
Okay. And Yuiza, what are you trying to do?
She's going to try and pick this lock. Takes out the little tool set. It's quite small. Really nice, like worn leather.
Okay. Roll your thieves' tools.
Plus 6, that's going to be 18.
You do feel a click in the lock. Do you try and open the door?
She'll step back and say, okay, so the door is open.
Oh, cool. Sulong will open the door.
All right. Everyone standing in front of the door, roll me a dexterity saving throw.
You didn't let me finish? 15.
21.
Okay.
22.
So you will only take half this damage. So you'll take half of 4, which is 2. 2 points of force damage as it feels like a just wall shaped like this door just boom, right into all of you, pushing you backwards, and the door slams shut, pulling itself out of your hand, Sulong. And you hear the click of the lock, as it knew that you were not the one who owns the key to this place.
About this time, I'm going to walk back around the building because I, the player, have realized that I have one more level to go before I can do what I was about to do. So
Okay.
I'm just going to walk back around and just go, have you opened the door yet?
Yeah. Kind of. Sort of.
Didn't let me finish too long.
You knocked the breath out of me.
I said,
Is that what doors always do?
Is everybody okay?
okay, so I unlock the door, and I step by and say, so the door is unlocked. And Sulong open it, and then something like the door, like a force of the door hit us, and then it shuts itself and locked is up because I was going to say the door is open, but I just realized this is a magic shop.
Oh dear, is anybody injured?
A little bit, but I'm fine.
Just my pride.
Mostly his pride. I guess we wait. We can go to the markets to find her.
Yes, she might be there. It is like quite a few people, though.
And I would not. I would like to not get hurt again.
What if I kicked the no?
I'm leaving.
I'm following.
That is your
Okay.
battle.
There is not an actual market here. So there are a series of farms surrounding this village, as well as a general store and a butcher shop, which are the two, I guess you'd say, food establishments, aside from the sit-down environment of the tavern.
Let's check out the general store.
Okay.
While we're walking, I'm going to walk up to first Fisscourth and then Yuiza, depending on how this goes, and just quietly to Fisscourth, I'm going to say, you made mention of being injured. Do you need assistance?
Oh, just a slight brush, but I suppose that could be pleasant to not be slightly brushed.
Because I can't tell, are you or Yuiza more injured, or is there any physical difference? I can only do this once for now.
No, we both. I think we all were just shoved a bit suddenly. My tailbone is a bit sore, but I can't say we're all too badly hurt.
Very well. DM, I'm gonna... Over the course of this, I've been doing scrying on my deck to see what the top two cards are and readjust them. I'm gonna flip them because the one I was looking for in this instance was the second card. And as an action, I'm gonna draw my top card, the Ally. So I'm gonna take a card now that Arat knows what the card is. Sort of reach out like until you can feel a wing. Take Fisscourth's hand, put the card in it, and the card is going to dissolve. And Fisscourth is going to regain 12 HP at max because I apparently maxed out my roll.
That's wow.
And the card just goes away, and I'm now done casting for the day.
Your cards did that?
They can do many things.
Well, thank you, Arat, for the curtains and this card.
Of course. I tried to help where I can. Tell me more about the about what you learned about landlords and whatnot at some point.
Have you heard about tenant eviction?
I have not been a tenant myself, so no.
I'm gonna go on and on about it as we walk down to the general store.
I have put you all on a map. This is actually, this is Dulhen. So here, near where you all are, this here is the Wands Wand, and I will get this labeled for you all on break as well. This here is the Pink Dragon, directly across. Going further back, this here, these two buildings next to each other are the general store and the butcher shop. This is the... Past that, you have the mayor's, like, offices, and the guard station, or what will become the guard station. Directly across from that is the guild hall. And beyond that, outside the walls of the town, is a temple that caters to the faith of multiple religions throughout the realm, and a bathhouse as well.
Ooh.
Nice little spa area.
Oh.
So shall we go to the general store first?
Yes.
Sure.
Alright. Let's go. She's like skipping her way. Like she didn't just get fucking slammed by a door.
All right, sounds good. Easily enough done. You head over to the general store. They are still open. It is bustling with folks inside. Are you just looking for Arabelle?
Yeah. Yuiza will take a stroll around and see what's it's in there. There we go.
Is someone behind the cash register?
Yes. There is a purple tiefling man manning the register. Looks kind of bored, flipping through a text of some sort, leaning on one elbow.
Hi, good evening. I was wondering if you could help me.
Yes, I can. Beans are 30% off today. How can I assist you?
Have you seen Miss Arabelle around? We're her new tenants. And she didn't leave us a key.
Oh, yeah, she was in here. I don't know, not too long ago.
Great.
Did she make any mention of where she was headed to?
She needed some ingredients that we didn't have. Yeah, I don't know where she went to get them. Probably to like one of the farmers or something. Maybe. I don't know. Do you want to buy something, or are you just looking for Arabelle?
You said the beans were 30? There were 30 beans?
Guys, the beans are 30% off.
Yeah.
30% off?
Yeah, there's a sale today. We got another shipment in, and we haven't sold many, so they're on sale.
This will pull out a single gold coin and put it down on the counter. For as many beans as this perk can buy me.
Do you put down a gold coin?
Yes, gold.
Okay.
Gold with a capital G.
You get a 10-pound sack of beans.
That's a lot of beans. Now you
But
can
they're
say you're
30%
full
off.
of beans.
A handful of beans.
Yep, it's a sack of dried beans.
I guess we're going to have beans for a while. I guess technically you could eat them like that, but they're really hard.
Are they not supposed to be crunchy? And Fizz has already put one in her mouth, is chewing on it.
I know you're supposed to cook them.
Oh, yes, you will have to show me this.
Okay. Let's go find Arabelle.
I said I'm going to carry the 10-pound bag of beans with me. Let me put that in my inventory.
Sulong just turns back to the tiefling. Thank you.
Thank you for shopping in the general store. Please come again. Or don't. I don't care.
Buddy, I've been there too.
Roll me an insights check, Sulong.
19.
Yeah, that's higher than this kid's age. You get the sense that he doesn't want to be here, but is just kind of forced to be.
So we're just gonna head off to, like, I guess one of the farms.
We don't know which farm though.
I don't know. Do you want me to scream her name?
That usually works. I could do so. I'm quite loud, so I've been told.
No. Just a hand slowly sliding in front of Fizz's mouth. No. It's getting later on. We don't want to disturb anyone in the town.
Right. Are these the farms over here?
Those are some of the residential buildings, but the farms do go back, and they go back a while. There's quite a few farmers here that are a part of this village.
All right, here we go.
Let's go
Hi,
find
do
her.
you know Miss Arabelle? Hi, do you know Miss Arabelle? Hi, have you seen Miss Arabelle? Hi, have you seen Miss Arabelle?
Miss Arabelle.
Arabelle, are you nearby? We have beans.
Mom, we're lost in the mall.
What did you do today? I don't know. My party just didn't decide to wait and stay put. They just decided to go looking for an NPC. Go ahead and
Whole
roll
town
me.
is for
Go ahead and roll me investigation.
10.
dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
-1.
Fisscourth, you are so pretty.
So
Fisscourth is still telling me all about taxes.
I am. They're disgusting.
Can also evade them.
As you are shouting through the village, Yuiza, you are walking along and shouting, and directly behind you, you hear, I know Arabelle. As you
Do you?
You turn around and you are staring at the chest of a blue dragonborn who is looking down at you intently. This dragonborn is unlike any dragonborn you have ever seen before. Dragonborn normally take on draconic features similar to the chromatic dragons. However, this dragonborn is incredibly slim and long. And instead of the normal blocky dragon head that most dragonborn had, theirs is almost serpentine. And they have what appear to be wing-like protrusions from the side of their head. And two large horns, bark-like in texture, curl back from the top of her forehead.
Hello.
Hi.
You know Miss Arabelle?
I do.
You know Miss Arabelle?
Mhm.
Okay.
She's very nice. Oh, hi, I don't know you, so I should use my other name. Hi, I'm Nizmat. It's really nice to meet you.
I don't have another name. Hi, I'm Yuiza. She'll shake your hand like very...
Oh,
You're really tall.
oh, Thanks. I'm nearly as tall as... Well, actually, I'm taller than my dad now, so that doesn't work anymore. But...
Now, you can say you're taller than your dad, though.
I can. I'm definitely not as tall as my... Well, it depends on what form she's in, whether or not she's big or small that day. But yes, I am definitely taller than my dad. I can say that for sure. Oh, by the way, I use all pronouns. Hi.
Oh, hi. I use she, her.
It's nice to meet you. And she will
It's nice to meet you.
take your hand in both of her very large paw-like hands and shake enthusiastically.
She'll shake back enthusiastically.
You feel like your arm is probably about to come off. She shakes
My
your
arm is
so
about
hard.
to fall off, but this is really fun.
Sorry.
It's okay.
Yes, I know Miss Arabelle. I actually saw her earlier. She was going to pick up some zucchini, and then she was going to drop off something at the warden's because she had just sent some people out for a job, and she wanted to make sure that it got credited to their workload. And then she was going somewhere else too, but I only remember the first two.
That's fine.
I can show you where the wardens are, though, if you want me to show you. Their building's really
we've
nice.
been there.
Oh.
We're part of the wardens. We're the ones that she gave a job to.
And her flaps plaster back to the sides of her head. You're from the wardens too? So am I. And she flips open her lapel to show you her badge.
She'll move over her like little cape. Friends.
We could go there and see if anyone's seen her. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
Okay.
Are you guys okay with that? Oh, these are my friends.
Oh, they're great. Hi. Hi.
Hello.
Hi. Oh, does anyone want a muffin? Here. I made these this morning. And she passes you all out blueberry muffins.
Oh my god, I haven't had a muffin in so long.
Delicacy. Everyone here is so generous.
Not everyone is. We're just very lucky right now.
There's a look over to Sulong. It pans away for half a second, pans back, the muffin's gone. That was very good. Thank you.
They're really good muffins.
Oh, you're very welcome. Here, have another. And she just has like what almost feels like a never-ending basket of muffins.
This takes 3. And is balancing on these on top of the 10-pound bag of beans.
Arat pockets the one that he was given.
Okay. All right. Do you head back to the wardens with Nismat?
Yeah.
Absolutely. I love Nismat. I love them so much.
Nismat, you said you had another name. May I know your other name?
No, you may not.
Okay.
Nismat, forgive me if this is a sensitive topic. If you'd lost them in some accident. You're a dragon, yes? Where are your wings? Like mine.
Oh, no, I'm not a dragon. I'm a dragonborn. My mother's a dragon, though.
Your mother? Cube math equation, just like as Fist is like trying to figure out how this worked.
Uh-huh.
Is your father also a dragon?
Oh, no. He's an adventurer. He's very
He
brave.
was a very ballsy elf.
Actually, he's human.
He reminds me of someone who I met long ago. Does he have red hair, perchance, an earring in his right ear?
No, he has very short brown hair.
Oh, I see. Maybe they're friends, but we'll find that out maybe sometime in the future. But let's keep walking.
Okay. And as she walks, she almost has like this serpentine bob to her as she moves.
Oh, she's so cute. I love her so much. We gotta boop the snoot.
She has a very boopable snoot. But she will lead you back, and as you return, you all see someone who Fisscourth met earlier in the day. You all see Pershing running back and forth at full speed, chasing after a ball as Toby throws it. You hear the pounding of this creature, and you hear the clinking and whirling of metal on metal, and you smell... Have you ever been anywhere near like where metal is being worked on?
Yes.
That metallic smell that gets in the air as the particles?
Yes.
You smell that.
Is that a machinist nearby?
It looks
That's
like a
Pershing.
dog. What is that? She's like looking around as
Is Pershing a mechanic?
No, Pershing is a dog who is metal. Apparently dogs are not metal, but he raised our friend. Yes.
No, I've never encountered a metal dog before.
How interesting. I am experiencing the rarities
I want
of the
to pet
world.
them so bad.
They like pets. I scratched his stomach. He seemed to enjoy that quite a bit.
Fisscourth.
She's good.
Yes.
As you get closer, Pershing is nearly halfway to Toby when he hears you utter his name, and his head snaps to you. I'm going to need you to make me a strength saving throw as he comes at you, barreling down on you.
He's gonna make you drop my beans. Strength saving, here goes. That's a 4.
You go skidding backwards. Whoever is behind Fisscourth, you probably fall as well.
Arat, yeah, she was
And-
gonna lean over and explain to Arat what he looked like.
There is a paw on either side of your head as Pershing is nose to nose with you and just goes,
Back, but you made me drop my beans.
I'm just gonna reach over and just feel whatever is making this sound.
you feel the face of a cold metallic dog. The head is blocky. The ears are quite short up top. And the nose is not stubbed, but not as long as like a wolf's nose or a shepherd's nose. And it has, you're not quite sure how, but it has mechanical jowls. And you're pretty sure that it just slobbered on you.
Arat's hands are just like weaving over this thing. If you ever played Dead by Daylight and like the healing hands motion, that's just his hands right now all over this dog's face as he like feels and gets a sense of what it is, because it's unlike anything he's actually encountered before.
Pershing is loving it, and you feel as you travel down his neck to get a better sense of how big he is, you feel that the way that the body moves and everything within it moves, it almost mimics breath. You could swear that this thing is breathing.
This is the most interesting creature I think I've encountered.
And as you two lay on the ground with Pershing toweling over top of you, Toby comes running up full speed. Oh, I am so sorry. He tends to do that with people that he really, really likes. I mean, it's a good sign, but it's also, are you okay? I will pay for any damages. Did anyone break a bone? I have health potions on me at all times.
No, could you help me pick up these beans, though?
You want to pick up all of the beans? And as you turn and look, the bag has just scattered into the dirt.
Well, you know, the birds need beans, too. Maybe we could just leave these out.
Well, that's a shame. You did just purchase them.
That's 10 pounds of beans.
I could go get you more beans. Why did you purchase 10 pounds of beans? Are you making chili?
They were on sale.
They were 30% off.
Oh, right. So you shop like my dad.
Yes.
Okay. Well, again, I am sorry. Pershing, get off the Pershing. And you hear him, Arat, someone's pulling at this dog by its collar.
I met Toby before, so I can piece together the voice with the face that I felt.
And,
This is your creature.
yes, this is mine.
This is fascinating.
But he
That's
is
adorable.
He is all of those things and some other things. And right now we are going to go have a very serious talk about jumping on people again.
Before that, Toby, who did we report to for a job well done?
Oh, you could give it to me or whoever is just minding the office when I'm out. Did you? Oh, you worked for Arabelle today, didn't you?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We're actually wondering where she is. We haven't found her, and she kind of has the key to her shop.
Definitely do not try to open that door without her. It packs a wallop. She locked herself out one time, and it was a pain in the patootie to get her back in.
Oh my god, really? I'll definitely keep that in mind.
Noted, yeah.
We'll keep that in mind, yeah. Mhm.
All right. Hang on one second. And he rummages around in his pockets and pulls out something that, all right, you hear a jingle of metal on metal, and you hear him clinking through something, and he is going through the rest of you see a metal ring, and on it there are other metal rings. You can all roll me Arcana if you want to take a guess at what these would be.
That's a nat 20 for a 23, but I can't see it, so I don't know how that maps it.
Okay, that's fine.
That's 2.
I have no idea what this is.
Okay, what was
Neither do I.
yours?
5.
5? Okay.
So it's me, so I'll just reach out and touch whatever this is that he's messing with.
And he will let you. You feel a metal ring that is full of different pieces of jewelry, and you are fully aware that sending jewelry is something that people can have created. So he is going through it, and he goes, "Oh, that one that your finger's on, that's for my dad. Don't activate that one."
You have so many communication devices.
I have to talk to a lot of people for my job.
Most people I know only have the one.
Yeah, it's a lot.
You're a very busy man.
Yeah, I am. Ask me when the last time I was that I took a vacation.
You should take a vacation, probably.
Actually, did you know that paid vacations are rarely the norm according to this book? You have to earn them. Shocking.
Oh, yeah, you can just take a vacation anytime you want. You're basically working on your own time for the wardens. Did I not say that? Did I give you the whole benefits package?
Oh no, I didn't get to the freelancing chapter yet.
Oh, yeah, well, free, like, what are you reading? You know what, hang on. Miss Arabelle, I have your, tenants. They're trying to get in. Please come back soon.
Reach down and help pick up Fisscourth with my moderate strength.
He sends, the message out, and, a short time later, as you all sit playing with Pershing, Arabelle rushes up with her hands and arms laden with bags and boxes. I am so sorry. I got carried away talking to all the shop owners, and then I had to go to the guild, and then I had to go out to some of the farms, and I just realized that I was out of everything.
Sulong is walking up to her and just like taking the stuff out of her hands.
And then I had to go to the temple, and I had to drop things off, and oh, thank you so much. And then I had to go over to the bathhouse because I'm all out of my skincare. Gowan used it all up, the little... and I am so sorry.
It's okay.
That's why his skin was so smooth.
We met Nismat, and then we met Pershing.
Is Nismat still with us watching this shit show?
No, Nismat had a good chuckle and then carried on to the guild house to go about the rest of their night.
That's a lot of food that you got.
Oh, well, it's not all food. Some of it's just things for me because I've been gone for a while, and some of it's just things for the store. And also, people were just really happy to see me again, so I decided to just, stay and talk for a while, and then they gave me things, and they kept giving me things, and I really hope you all like beans. The beans were on sale, and I kind of panic bought.
Oh, as did I. And this points to the pile of beans that got spilled all over.
Oh. Well, good to know that you like beans. And, Sulong, 2 of the bags that you are holding are just bags full of beans.
Heard of 3 bean salad, but I think this is a little ridiculous.
Well, I mean, they won't go bad, and I could just, I don't know, make a bean... Chili?
Soup? You can make a bean soup.
That sounds lovely, thank you.
I know different ways of making beans, don't worry about it.
Okay. Anyways, I got all of your ingredients, and we can go back.
And we got yours.
Wonderful. I am so glad that you all found Toby. Let me tell you, trying to get into that place can be a bit of a wild thing.
Really?
No.
Curious.
Okay.
She will take you all back to the Wands Want.
Actually, really quick, while they're all going over food stuff, I'm going to reach out until I find Toby. Let's go. Excuse me. Do you have a well on the outskirts of town?
A well on the... I mean, some of the farmers have wells to water their crops, but...
I mean, a central one that is just outside of town.
It's possible someone's built one. I don't know of one off the top of my head. No, why?
Well, when we went into the woods to find Miss Arabelle's horses earlier, we came across a well. And then when we went back to find her ingredients, it was no longer there. But it was then on the road back. This seems a bit strange and outside of our newcomers' arena.
Did it have feet?
We did not sense any, no.
Huh.
We were able to determine it was in fact the exact same well, though.
Okay. I mean, we have other jobs that have posted at the guild hall, so if you don't want to go back and investigate it, I can assign it to someone else. But if you do, that is another thing that we are responsible for, is investigating wells.
I do sense that we will inevitably let our curiosity get the better of us. I just figured I would tell you in case somebody who is more familiar with strange goings-on had any insight.
Right. I think you're going to find that there's just a lot of strange things in the world. As you work for the wards, you're going to get asked to check out.
I've become quite familiar with that, yes.
Okay. All right. Oh, gosh. All right. Let me know how it turns out.
Will do. Thank you, and good day to you and your strange mechanical dog.
Thank you. Pershing, come on. And Pershing will follow Toby as they both head back to the guild hall to do more paperwork now that they know there's another issue in town. Heading back to the Wandswan?
Yes.
All right. You all arrive back at the Wandswan. Arabelle pulls a key from her pocket and unlocks the door and turns around and goes, one of my stops was with someone who does enchanting, and one of you can hold on to this. Don't lose it, because it's very expensive, and I've already lost my keys several times. And she will hand you all a key to the front door of the Wandswan. So whoever...
I can keep it in the bag of holding.
Oh, perfect. And the key, as you look at it, it is specifically marked with runes that match runes on the door itself. So, magic lock, magic key. But now you can get in and out of the building as you do so. Choose.
Thank you.
Where do you head next? Yuiza, are you heading to the kitchen to get dinner started?
Yes.
All right.
I need to see how this food is made. I'm following you just into the kitchen.
She's gonna put you to work.
It is. All right. How do you go about preparing this meal with Fisscourth?
She is very, like, when it comes to cooking, she's very kind of a little bit more commanding. It's like, okay, you have to do this, you have to do this. But also, it's kind of like whatever your heart tells you, you know? Like, there's no specific measurements. So you just kind of, it has to feel right. And she'll go about how she prepares the rice with the pigeon peas, with how she seasons the meat, how long she usually gives it for. And she'll have her like cutting up vegetables, making you gotta mix the batter, make sure there's no lumps in it, and then you add the fish in it, and then you add that, and she's just giving her like instructions on how to do everything.
There's so many things. I thought food just came out of an oven.
No, you have to prepare it yourself. I sometimes make a little too much food because back where I lived with my dad and my aunt and my uncle, we also had other people that lived like really close to us, and sometimes we would have days where we would all make food and then the community would eat together. Sometimes not everybody had food, so if somebody had extra, the people would come over and make food for everyone. That would way everybody picked.
I've never understood this. Where I'm from, normally everyone would go out and get us food, and then we would all eat together. Does everyone not have food always?
Unfortunately, no. You have to buy food if you don't hunt it yourself, or if you're not permitted to hunt it. I don't know what the hunting laws are, so I'm not the hunter, but most people have to buy them, especially like when you have babies, they eat different types of food.
Yes, I've heard about this. Children must eat mush because they don't have teeth yet at their age.
First, they must drink milk.
Yes, some of us don't stop drinking.
Nope. Right, you'd drink blood and stuff, right?
Yes, but not as... Well, I need to. I need to chop these carrots. Yes, that's what they are, carrots, the green ones?
No, those are peppers. Make sure you remove the seeds. The seeds make them spicy.
I'm going to put one on my tongue.
It's spicy. It's like where the seed is, as you feel like that spot, like with that capsaicin, just burning through. Yeah.
I didn't know they bit. Did we not kill it?
I told you it was spicy.
I see this now. I'm not going to do that again. I will listen to you.
Have you ever fried something?
No, we drink where I'm from. We drink blood of animals, yes.
Okay, well, we make food out of animals and other stuff that grows. So here you go. She'll show her like this is the batter that you were making, and it was like flour with like water, like other seasonings, and then she added like the chunks of fish to it. It's like you take this ladle. You have to be careful because the oil is gonna like spray on you sometimes, so you have to be careful not to just drop it. You just pour it in there, and she'll show you how she pours it. And it just kind of comes into like this like crispy little disc.
And does this one, is it spicy?
No, it's not. But let it cool down, and she'll put it away. And after like they do a few, she's like, "Oh, here, try it." And she'll give you the first one that you guys made, and it's crispy on the edges, but really soft and chewy in the middle. And then you get the chunks of fish in there. It's a little salty, but not too much. It's like perfect.
Perfect. Yes. This must be a type of magic. I never have heard of the school of magic where I'm from.
It's not magic. It's just
the Great Red Flood is all we know. But yes, cooking is magic. You made this into this.
Well, I suppose I can teach you how to cook.
I would love to learn this.
Yeah. Whenever we're here, we can make dinner when we're able to, and then I will teach you how to make beans like 10 different ways. Don't worry.
Very excited, especially since beans are still on sale.
That's true. And she'll continue to then cook the rest of the food and show her like how she does everything.
Fantastic. While this cooking montage is going on, Sulong and Arat, what are you up to?
I'm wondering like the bottom level of the house and then the outside of the property for now. Just taking in smells and getting a sense of what is immediately nearby.
I guess then Arat will hear basically the air vibrating from the front of the house. Sulong is going over some drills with his axe, essentially just like martial art forms.
What is it that you're doing?
Practicing the basics. It's pretty important in some forms of martial arts. No matter how advanced you get, you always have to get back to the root. So at the moment, I'm just swing my axe in a certain way as dictated by what I was taught. The best way I can describe it to you.
Fascinating. I suppose practice does make perfect, but to hear it, I've not heard such practices before.
And Sulong will take several swings in rapid succession. Yeah, if I don't get the feel of my axe at least once a day, I get rusty. I don't like that.
Understandable. I wish you luck in your practices.
Yeah, I was about to start unarmed stuff, so if you want to stick around and listen to that.
I'm going to take a brief walk, but if you're still going when I get back, I would absolutely love to.
I realize I just nodded my head in affirmation. Yes, be safe.
I appreciate you. Thank you.
If I can interrupt in a moment as you guys are having that, Yuiza's just bringing out plates of like critters for you guys to eat before dinner.
And when Yuiza goes back in, I'll put mine on the plate for Sulong and just go, gather your strength for your training. And now I'm going to continue the walk.
All right, where are you going?
Just going to take a walk like back into town because I didn't actually like we were searching for
Arabelle?
No, yeah, when we were searching for Arabelle, we didn't like. There wasn't a whole lot of like actually stopping at the shops. Like Fisscourth got beans, but I'm curious as to like actually what is around this area.
Okay, you can walk through town. If you head back towards the general store, it's directly next to the butcher shop. You know that directly across the street from the Wan's Want, where you currently are, is the tavern, and you can hear the music and merriment that is coming from inside there as you pass by. Further down are the other buildings around town. If you walk further down past the butcher shop and the general store, you have a building that is mostly constructed at this point. You do hear some minor construction going on, but this large wooden building with you run your hand along the side of it, and it has these ornately laid brick windows in a pattern that you're not familiar with as you walk by, and there are small panes of glass as you run your hands across the glass of this building. Those who walked by it earlier, there are large stained glass windows that run in sequence across the front of the building.
Can I feel like the actual tiling of the stained glass as I touch it?
You can feel the leading of it. Yeah, you can't get a sense of what the picture is.
Right, sure. It's all very like geometric shapes.
Yeah, but you can definitely tell what it is, and you feel the ripples of the colored glass under your fingers as well. Some workers greet you, ask you if you need anything. As you move beyond that, there is a stone wall that you come into contact with, the same one that runs around the perimeter of this central area of the village. And beyond that, you hear the chimes of the temple that is not too far off past that. And in the distance, you hear water sounds again, as you are near a small lake where the bathhouse is. And
but definitely different water sounds.
Definitely different water sounds, yes.
Okay.
It's not the slosh of a well. It's larger body of water.
Good to know. You said the temple isn't too far off?
Yeah. It would probably be like a street's width past the wall of the village.
Okay. I'm going to take note of where it is. I've made space in various temples in various towns before, so I might need to take note of that. Yeah. But I'm going to keep taking note of what buildings are where, so I can actually have a mental map of this area. Yeah. So I can navigate it with or without my companions. And I'll stop into some stores on the way back.
Yeah. Any in particular you want to stop into?
The general store again and the butcher shop, just because the butcher shop has interesting smells, and maybe I can find something for whatever Yuiza's making because we didn't go in there.
Okay.
And general store just because it was very quick.
What are you looking for in the general store? You were greeted by the same bored teen tiefling voice that you heard earlier when the rest of the party was inside. What can I do for you?
My companions came through very quickly last time. I wanted to get a better sense of what you have here.
Okay. Are you we're a general store, so we have a little bit of everything. There's cosmetics behind you, and then if you go further down, we have some minor tools. We have feed for small animals and canned food for cats or something. And I think we got new chef's aprons in. They say kiss the cook, but it's like a drawing of a giraffe on the front.
I don't get it.
I don't either. My mom likes them.
Did your mom make the aprons?
No, she ordered them. My aunt makes the aprons, and she runs this business where she puts just animals on everything with sayings. It's super rad.
Sounds like you'd rather be... You're interested in other things, though.
I mean, have you been in town long? This place is so boring.
I'm gonna walk right up to the the counter where it is, and just I'll put my hand down with what remains of my deck on the counter and just go, what would you rather be doing?
Hanging out with the girl from the bathhouse.
Tell me about her.
She's super cool. She makes these little baskets out of the reeds that grow by the lake. She made me one.
Sounds like she has a fancy for you then to make you something like this.
She makes them for a lot of people, so I think it's just she got bored and made one. But it'd be cool if she liked me. You know?
I think so. And I'm going to pull a card for Bespeak with him. I got the adversary.
Okay.
I guess it's up to you to tell me if I'm getting this as an omen of something positive or negative or nothing. And as I'm doing that, I'm just sort of loosening up the hand covering that I've got to get a feel for the cards more.
Yeah. With the way it works, is it supposed to be for this person directly, or just
it's for what I'm trying to do a reading on?
Okay. You get the sense that it's possible. It's likely negative. The adversary, he's got some competition.
And I'm going to turn the card over in front of him so you can see it. You should if you have a goal, if you have a desire, a dream, you should make good on it. Confront it without fear. To keep things reserved means missing opportunities. Playing it safe means missing opportunities. And soon you will find yourself in the comforting, safe path, and the thing that you wanted is no longer there. So, perhaps the only way to know if this woman is interested in you is to find out before somebody else does.
Right. You sound like my dad.
I only read what the cards tell me. And the card's going to vanish out of my hand, as I've now spent it for this.
Are you gonna, buy anything?
I'll put the uncovered hand on his hand for a second. So, in time I will. I go where I feel that I'm needed, though. And I'll pat the top of his hand. And then I'll walk out, just putting hand cover back on.
Thank you for coming to the general store. Please come again. Or don't. And you hear the flipping of the pages of the book again.
And I'll walk out and I'll stop at the butcher and see if I can just buy some meat and a couple of things to bring back on my way back.
Yeah. What you looking to grab?
Something red meat that something with some density to it.
Okay. Yeah, you're easily enough done. It's a little bit later in the day, so the best cuts are gone, but there's a little bit of everything still left there. And the butcher is more than happy to make a final sale of the day. It will get you whatever you need.
Great. Yeah, I'll purchase from him.
Okay.
And then I'll walk back, pass too long for a second to towards the smells of the kitchen and just sort of put the meat down in the kitchen in front of Yuiza and Fizz before I just walk upstairs for a bit. Put my deck and things down upstairs, and then I'll head back out to listen to Sulong train.
More spell components.
Yes.
I think for Arat, it's a lot more of hearing, but it's very rhythmic, almost like a dance. Sulong has put his axe down, and you just hear the thwip of cloth being rapidly jettisoned and then pulled back as his fists are flying forward.
You're very, very skilled with this.
Oh, yeah, he's continuing to punch and kick. Placed second when I was in school.
And in what?
Competitions, mostly. There was someone ahead of me. Threw their weight around a lot. Quite literally, in fact.
You compete with fighting?
For sport, yeah. It helps teach it helps teach us how to defend ourselves.
I suppose that makes sense. I never heard of it being done for sport. Though perhaps I missed out on it.
It might be a cultural thing. Sulong has set a log in front of him, and his leg goes basically perpendicular to the ground and swings downward in an axe kick, and it just obliterates the log.
I'll just hear the splinterings. Impressive.
Thank you. Well, the only thing that's bad about training like this is I work up an appetite.
It's a good thing I brought additional food. There is a red meat now added to the mix.
Oh, excellent.
I'll just wipe my mouth off and head back inside.
Yeah. You are all able to gather again and sit down to a nice meal. Is there any further conversation with the table?
Is Arabelle sitting with us?
Yeah, she'll come in and sit.
I think as we're all digging in, Fizz just, she stares at her plate thinking for a moment for just, have you heard of a well walking before?
A well walking. Is this a riddle of some sort? I'm not really good
No.
at riddles or okay.
It's not a riddle.
No, it's a real story. Actually, a real thing that we saw. There was a well that we encountered when we were finding your horses. The terrible creatures with the long faces. The well that we saw there is here now. Well, just outside the town.
It was deeper in the forest last we saw it.
It was like a big stump, 6 foot wide.
Someone put
Have
a
you heard
well
of
in the
such a
stump?
thing?
Yes.
And now
And the
that
stump
well.
to move.
Oh.
Sorry.
No, I can't really say that I have. I saw a chair move on its own once, but that turned out to be a mimic. Did it have teeth?
No. Well,
just
it
the one.
has one now.
Is it is it growing then? Or is it...
No, Yuiza donated it.
Oh. Okay, not the weirdest place I've heard someone put their body parts.
Yeah, I threw my tooth down it.
We have questions as well.
That is... Yep, no, I'm not familiar with wells that move.
Perhaps it warrants further study. There are scholars. I mean, I am a scholar, but I'm not scholared in the ways of walking wells. Perhaps there's a whole specialty, a sect.
Calisthenics. If you want to walk well.
I got that joke. That was
Thank
a good
you.
one. That was a good one. No, I'm sorry. I wish I could be of more help. My purview is potions.
What do you know about the map maker out front?
There's a map maker out front?
Sulong goes into his bag and unfurls the really nice map.
Oh, that's really pretty.
Yeah, I was selling some of these out by the town gate on the way to the forest. I'm just wondering.
Oh, maybe there's someone new in town. I haven't met all of the new people that arrived while I was gone.
He said he had a treasure map.
Oh,
Well,
did he? Where to? Is there anything good?
A dungeon map.
It was 15 gold.
Yeah.
Oh, did you buy it?
No.
No.
Shoot.
If fate provided it, then it would still be there for us later.
Right. Well, no, I don't know of any. I don't think a map shop's open in town. They're still working on the. No one could really tell me what was next door, and I forgot to ask Toby. Maybe
Perhaps
you'll
there's
get your
somebody
map
who
again.
was walking well. Yes. We go into this dungeon and it has answers. It's underground like the well.
Nice.
Sometimes
I've
they
heard- Yeah, or sometimes I have more questions.
do. Yeah.
Sometimes they have
heard-
danger.
I heard one time someone went to a dungeon and lost their butt cheeks.
Oh, that
That seems
sounds.
improbable.
Well, I mean, they must have touched something cursed, didn't they? Sometimes you lose a limb when you touch something cursed.
I suppose that counts.
I think he was just
Yeah.
really flat. I don't think he.
Oh.
But maybe.
I once knew someone who lost their arm in a hole of devouring. They didn't realize that the warning below, written in Goblin, said not
No
to put your arm
hands.
in there. Yeah. And they reached in there with their whole arm clear up to the bicep. Yeah,
Oh, yes,
Wow,
terrible
that's
things.
a lot.
yeah.
I haven't seen anyone lose limbs yet. I do hope to, though. It sounds like a fascinating experience to witness. But I once saw a man be entirely drained of his blood by a large leech. It was horrific.
Can I
Yes.
do an insight check on that?
Go for
Likewise.
it.
Where is it?
Fisscourth, roll deception.
I'm rolling 13.
Math number. 24.
23.
I don't care.
Fisscourth looks really uncomfortable and cagey right now.
I'm guessing sounds the same as well.
Yep. Yeah, there is something. Fisscourth's voice almost broke at one point. Very uncharacteristic. Not in a cute ooh kind of way. In a this is my tell kind of way.
I'm just gonna give a knowing smile and nod. Just go, sounds fascinating.
Massive creatures in the Underdark, yes.
Wow.
You have to do quite a bit to survive down there.
I imagine. Isn't it like also dark all the time?
Could you pass the lentils, please? Thank you. You know, Arabelle, I could contact my folks about getting something for this table. It's called a Lazy Susan. It essentially, you put objects in the middle and it'll spin, so you don't have to reach over people.
That doesn't sound lazy at all. It sounds like it's doing all the work for you.
I didn't name it.
Maybe it's for lazy people, but even though that would actually be very beneficial for people who have like arm mobility issues.
I mean, that would be fine if that's something that you would like to have to make your stay here more comfortable. Personally, I really don't mind. Normally, I eat while I work. I don't normally. This is actually the first time I've had any company here, and it's nice. It's nice.
Okay.
I made enough food for you to have leftovers, so if you are hungry and you don't want to stop working, you can just heat it up. You don't even have to cook.
Oh, thank you. That'd be great.
My uncle used to work all the time, so we'd have to heat him up food all the time and just make sure he ate that day.
Normally, I just go across the street to the tavern and get something there and bring it back.
That's terribly sad. Where I'm from, we always bring back food. We share. Well, we can always share food with you now. Because we're a colony. We live together.
Right. Well, I think...
Okay.
No, it's fine. I think I'm gonna actually go get back to work, so I'm just gonna take the rest of my plate into my office. Is there anything else that you need from me before I go? Anything else weird happening around town?
Not yet.
Okay, well, that changes. Let me know. And she's going to pick up her plate and head to her office and get back to work.
She seemed a little
What a nervous
weird,
individual.
no?
She seems very lonely.
That's sad. She's such a nice person.
She is. She gave us her whole home.
If she has not had company very often, then she perhaps does not quite know how to interact with people.
Yes. It's difficult to be by yourself and then suddenly you're surrounded.
I'm just
True.
gonna make sure she's okay, alright?
Very well.
All right.
She's gonna stand up and she'll take like a drink, if she did, because she didn't seem to take a drink, and just knock on the door.
Come in! You hear through a mouthful of food.
Oh, sorry, I saw you didn't take a drink and I figured you'd get thirsty.
You can put it on the desk over there.
Okay.
I'll mix it up with my potions here if I try to.
Oh, yes.
You definitely, excuse me. You definitely don't want to try and mix potions at the same. One time I set down an entire quill into my water and just continued trying to write with it, and it took me a few minutes to figure that out. Yes.
My uncle does that. He's actually makes potions and compounds as well. So I understand. I live with someone that does this. I just wanted to make sure that you were okay.
Yes. Yeah. I'm fine.
The insight check that.
Okay. Yeah.
16.
Arabelle seems fine. She is
Right.
just getting back to work.
All right. Well, if you need anything, just let us know. Thank you again for letting us stay here. Hi.
Long reaches across the table, stabs a piece of
Gotcha.
meat, brings it over to Fizz's plate, plops it.
This just sucks on it like a lollipop.
Has Sulong just finished his entire plate?
Yeah, he's going back for seconds.
As he does, Arat just just very slyly moves his plate over to Sulong for additional food and just sits back.
Is everyone good? Food?
Yes, thank you very much for
You're
your
very
efforts.
welcome. Of course. I'd love to cook. It's been a long time since I've cooked for a lot of people, so.
Do you have many people to cook for, Yuiza?
When I was back home, I would cook sometimes. Like I said, we would cook for the community sometimes. We just watch out after each other. But I've been traveling for so long that I haven't really had time to stay in one place too long to make a community and eat. Plus I gotta keep on moving, you know.
I know how that feels. It's strange. Suddenly you have no one to give food and sustenance and victuals, as the Adventurer's Guide said.
Yes. Well, we'll get food for you now. Just go.
And I for you.
Thank you. You know, we can actually put leftovers in the bag of holding because I read in the little instruction booklet that Miss Arabelle gave us that it's airtight, so it'll stay fresh.
Meals on the go. Really?
Exactly. I don't know if it'll stay hot, but you know.
Oh, did we actually want leftovers?
Oh, you can eat as much as you want. I want you to enjoy the food. Food is meant to be enjoyed.
Say no more.
And he
Please.
does enjoy the food quite much.
Shaggy
Makes
moment.
me really happy.
I think once I'm finished go-gurting my meat, which is what I'm doing, just
Go-gurting, I will pay you to never use those two words in the same sentence, uttered in the same breath, ever again.
okay. So after go-gurting my meat, I'm going. Fisscourth, will put this. It looks like a white people steak. It is gray. It is cooked out. All juices. I'm going to. You mentioned there were rooms with curtains. Might I see
Yes,
them?
please. And I'll actually walk and point as I feel towards the stairs.
Yes.
You want the ones to the left when you go up the stairs?
Yes. No, actually, like as I hit the top of the stairs, you see Arat like snap in each direction, and the one that like has the bigger echo is towards the bigger room. He goes, "It's this way."
Oh.
And he points her. He points her to the larger room, and then he remembers like cardinal directions. So he points. Turns out that is Yuiza's, and that is Sulong's, and that is mine, where I think I may retire shortly.
Oh, we don't share a room? I
No,
sleep by myself?
We have the ability for our own rooms, but we have this common space here in the middle. In other towns, if we go to other towns, we may perhaps share rooms. If you prefer people to share rooms, we could make that work. But we all have our own individual spaces and then our own group spaces.
Fisscourth through just like straightens her stuff up. Well, I suppose if everyone here sleeps by themselves, normally, then I will do so as well. And Arat, she takes with her, little tiny bat hands, his and hers, and says, "Thank you for all your help."
You're very welcome, my friend.
Well, I will see you when you awaken.
I suppose so, yes.
Yes. I'm going to go into my room.
Well, before that happens, Sulong pokes his head out of his room. By the way, our rooms are joined, so if you need anything in the night, don't be afraid to ask.
See.
It's like having somebody with you.
Like a cavern with adjoining chambers, yes.
Exactly.
This is much better.
I'll retire over to my room.
Excellent.
Can I do something really quick when I'm in there?
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I've got 3 cards left in this deck for the day. And Arat's gonna go in. He's going to lean his stick up against the wall. He's going to cross the room all the way to the table and put all 3 down flat, and then just pull Bespeak while thinking about this well.
You try and do that,
Huh?
and your card feels warm to the touch. You almost feel it begin to vibrate beneath your hands.
Interesting.
And you hear,
You are progressing well.
Is this a voice that I know?
it is. It's a voice that you have heard before. And just like that, the card is back to normal, but beneath it there is a second card.
I'm going to put this one down and reach for the new card. I'm still considering Bespeak at this point, but because I haven't flipped anything, but I'm going to pick up and pull that one.
Okay.
And feeling it, it's a card that I'm not familiar with in my deck at the moment, and it is the Monk. So I guess with Bespeak, thinking about the well, positive, negative, omen.
Positive.
Think on it a little bit, and the card just flickers out of my hand as I put the three remaining cards. I walk across the room again, put it on the nightstand next to my bed, and take the eye bandage off and lay down for the night.
Okay. Sounds good. You do that, and you have a really peaceful rest. Fisscourth. Is
Yes.
this your first time sleeping alone?
Yes, and quite frankly, I'm not sure. Normally, I sleep upside down, and I have the wings of my sisters and brothers and siblings all next to me, rustling and many voices. It's really eerily quiet, actually.
There are some wood beams here that you could probably use as a resting place, should you so choose. Easily enough to wedge your little bat toes into the grooves, if you would like. There's also a large double bed here, as well as like in the other rooms. You have a fireplace as well, and sitting on the desk, you see a small pint-sized jar.
I am going to approach the desk in this little jar.
Okay. Do you open it?
Does it? Of course.
It's a pretty jar, but something that you've seen attached to carts every so often. It's for travel, for keeping things fresh. And as you open it, you smell the distinct smell of a coppery liquid sloshing about inside.
The Great Red Flood.
It's about half full.
Who could have... I look around the room just as if someone dropped this in.
You're
before
totally
I just...
alone.
Oh... I'll drink it. I can't help. I mean, as good as normal food is, it doesn't have the same allure.
It tastes great. It's fresh.
Can I tell
From
its
today.
species?
Do you have an ability that would allow you to?
I do not, but could I make a nature check or something
Go ahead.
along those
Yeah.
lines? Oh boy. I also have -2 to this. Fun.
Love it.
10.
It tastes like there is a slight note of lemongrass
Interesting.
and barley and something else that you can't quite place.
Grainy. Very grainy. And once I have my little, liquid meal, I attempt to perch up on the banister before, getting, 5 minutes in of closing my eyes and realizing I can't do this. I need someone around. I need to hear breathing. And I think, yeah, I'm gonna roll. I'm gonna flip a coin, actually.
Okay.
Arat, you heard a knock at your door.
Okay.
Rather scratching.
Okay.
Rat, can I come in, please?
Yes, absolutely.
This feels a tad embarrassing to request, but I very much appreciate what you have done for my room. The curtains, the largeness from my wings, and would you mind if I slept in here?
I'm absolutely. Is your room something wrong with it?
No, wait, yes, there's no one there. It's strange. It's too quiet.
Well, yes, you may certainly stay here.
And without another word, Biss gives you this big, toothful, grateful smile, and then on one of your wooden beams, she just flaps her wings, hooks her feet there, and wraps herself up like a blanket, just her ears poking out.
I just realized something.
Oh?
I said that I took the eye bandage off before I went to bed, and then you just came to the door and I just opened it.
Oh!
So, Fisscourth was greeted by a face that there are just no eyes. It's not holes, it's just there's skin where the eyes would have been.
Oh! I think that, stops her for a moment, but then conversation continues. She hangs up. See when you arise.
Yes, have a good night and lay back down, unaware that he just did that.
She's definitely thinking about behind her wings, so where, how? Is it implied to ask?
All right.
The rules. There are so many.
As you two settle in to get a good night's rest, Yuiza, Sulong, are you doing anything before going to bed?
Yuiza is, instead of going to bed, she is going to sit down at the desk. She pulls out some books from her old bag, not the new bag of holding, and one of them is a journal different than the drawing one that she had at the beginning. And she kind of just opens the books that she took out. They seem to be alchemical in nature. And she sits down and starts going through them and writing notes, almost as if studying. She'll do this until she basically just passes out at the desk.
Alrighty, sounds good. Sulong?
Sulong is also at his desk, except he has a few stacks of parchment and pulls one off and takes a quill. Dear Mom and Dad. And then it's made it to Dullhen, got into the Wardens, doing fine. Could you send a lazy Susan to this address? ? Also, I lost a fan. We'll send some gold. Love your son, Sulong.
Okay. So you all settle down for a quiet night. Occasionally there's sounds of Arabelle knocking about the first floor, up to who knows what, probably making new potions for the next day. But the morning comes, you all awake, everyone's still alive. What do y'all do to start the day?
Probably wake up a little bit later. I imagine. But once I do, I'm going to reach over to feel where my deck was. And find it full again. All the cards that were burned are back in, and it's a little bigger because of the one that was missing. Or that was added in, rather. And I'll put the eye bandage on. But again, this is after people wake up.
Sounds good. Yeah, Fisscourth, you wake up. See the cards have returned to your friend's nightstand.
Did they just... Did it come out of me? She's still upside down. Just... Where... That was in my skin. I'm glad to see you're awake, by the way, but how did that happen?
They come back to me each day, so to be used again as fate sees fit.
Curious.
I have a new one, from what I felt.
Could I pull one out?
Absolutely, yes, and I'll just hold it out. I'm not casting anything, I'm just letting her pull one. And for sake of it, Abby, say stop.
Stop.
She pulls the rogue.
That's Yuiza.
I'll take it and feel it. So it is.
Also, forgive me if this is impolite. Do you have any origin from the underground?
Origin?
Yes, did you come from there? Are your parents from there?
No, well...
You just are so similar to some of the creatures I've seen down there. You have no eyes.
Oh, yes. From birth. From birth, as it were. But I've adapted to it rather well. No, as far as I'm aware, I have been underground, but not always.
You would do very well down there, I would think. Although I would not... You should never go into a cave by yourself. Or at least not without me.
I have been in the caves before, but I will keep this in mind.
Yes. Are the others awake? Do we go get everyone?
We can. There's no etiquette about it unless you see a sign that says "Do not disturb." But that's usually for the fancier locations.
Let's go gather the rest then.
All right. As you prepare to go gather your friends, Yuiza,
Yeah?
what's your morning like?
She is still sleeping on the desk.
Alrighty.
So she'll wake up whenever she hears a knock on the door.
Sounds good. Sulong, how about you? Are you an early riser?
Very early riser. He had gone out to do for some jogging, and now he's in the yard just doing like push-ups and sit-ups.
All right. Fisscourth and Arat, roll me a perception check.
Oh boy, it's a disadvantage.
This isn't
We're
necessarily to
inside.
see things, so you can just roll it straight.
Oh, hell yeah. Okay.
Dirty
Actually
20.
means I rolled a 22.
You both hear Sulong outside going through the motions of a workout. You hear a light snoring coming from your fourth companion's room.
I think Fisscourth is just gonna, very horror movie style, open the door with a creak, just very slowly. And then, in, her ahooling, keening voice, Yuiza, are you alright? Are you dead? Are you not dead? Are you...
No.
Are you hurt?
She was laying down on the desk, like sleeping there. She just sits up straight. No, I'm fine. What time is it?
What time is it, Arat?
From outside, I just go. It's morning. It must be at least after sunrise. If Sulong is outside practicing.
Yes, the damnable bright star is out.
Okay, can I help you?
No, we just came to wake you up.
Oh, I'm awake. I'll go down and... Is there coffee?
There can be.
Please?
I will find some.
She'll start putting together all the papers on her desk and putting them in her new bag of holding. She actually takes her old bag and puts it inside the bag of holding as well to keep it safe.
Roll me a perception check as you reach into your bag of holding.
13.
Okay.
But you actually see her put her old bag in and then take it out and then put it in And then she just takes it out and puts it on. Just with less stuff in it. It seems like it's dear to her. So she'll go, it's like, okay, I'm up.
At this point, I'm down in the kitchen. I'm smelling for coffee beans if there are any in here.
Easily enough found. They're sitting on the counter in a jar. There's a pot that sits nearby that can be used to make coffee on the stove.
And completely unsupervised, Arat lights the stove, gets everything set up for coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Yuiza's waking up. She goes to Fisscourth and just gives her a hug and touches her cheek to Fisscourth and does like, good morning.
Oh. Good morning. Yes, good morning. That is what it says. Good morning.
Good morning. And then she'll go down and eventually smell the coffee and do the same thing with good morning.
Good morning. This should be done soon.
You are an angel. I'm going to sit down.
When you go into the dining room to sit down and wait for the coffee to be made, there is a array of baked goods on the table and a note from Arabelle that she was called away to breakfast with a friend, but she will be back later in the day should you need her. But you are free to go as you please.
She is always moving about. Yes,
You
Yuiza?
have to try pastries. Pastries are so good,
What is
especially with coffee.
Do I mix the two? And Fisscourth starts just pour the coffee.
No. When Arat brings the coffee, you can drink your coffee and eat a little bit of the pastry or dip a bit of the pastry into the coffee. It's kind of nice because the coffee's a little bitter depending on how you like it, and the pastries are really sweet.
And I'll bring the coffee out. It is very strong.
This is good. I like it. It reminds me of my aunt's coffee.
Thank you. I learned how to make it in one of the towns I went to, and
I've heard of this coffee. A friend of mine mentioned that he craved it more than anything in the world. Is it something that you hold very dear to your morning routine?
some do.
Some do. It helps to wake you up. It can be a very bitter tasting thing, but some people put milk and cream in it or sugar to make it less bitter. Some people put chocolate. For my birthday, my dad would always wake me up with coffee with a little bit of chocolate in it because it was my special day.
So much to do, so many. I will have to keep a book of this. A recipe book. I will need many.
Okay.
At this point, Sulong comes in. There is no shirt. He has a bucket tucked underneath an arm. Oh, coffee and pastries.
Yes, please, come.
Go and give the cheek kiss and then come back.
Sulong, you actually saw Arabelle get up and go about her morning routine as you were out jogging and come back with pastries.
Small pleasantries. Good morning, how you doing?
Good morning.
I can't see it, but as a note, are the scales on Sulong's neck any further down?
It's patchworked. They go to his shoulder, and then there's one right above his left pectoral, and there's some that on the side of his hip that you can see.
Looking respectfully, of course.
I like your scales.
Oh, thanks. I didn't know.
Were you born with them?
We sort of grow into them.
Oh!
You mentioned that the people of your hometown mix.
Yeah, some of us have more of a scale inclination, some have feathers, some have fur. It really depends on who your family is.
Forgive me for asking a blunt question. Are you human?
I think I'm a dancer. And he'll walk away.
There's pastries.
Yeah, let me get cleaned up first. You just hear the
No,
cat
we will
running.
consume them all.
Save me one. He'll walk back out with a bucket
there's
full of
none
water.
left. We ate all of them.
Well, I guess I'll just have coffee then. He walks back outside and you just hear the
There's pastries.
splash. He'll come
He won't
back.
know how to clean himself. Sulong, please let me. And Fess just heads over and just, you know how cats will sometimes clean your hair? That's what she starts doing with her weird little raspy tongue. You're wet. You're going to catch a cold.
What is that sound?
Fisscourth is licking Sulong's hair. Fisscourth, that's not...
Do you not want me to do this?
I'll lean over to you. Was the coffee that bad?
Like a grooming thing with...
I see.
I don't mean to impose on your people or culture, but please refrain.
Oh, yes, of course. I don't understand that you're getting yourself wet. That is the opposite of clean. Look, you'll foster molds. Fungi.
Oh, not if I stand by the fire for a few minutes.
Yeah.
That's...
We use water to bathe here.
Apparently that... I worry for your health doing so, but I will respect this.
Fiss, have you never been to a bath before?
We should go to the bathhouse. We have money for a bathhouse.
So, Sarah,
I've
when you
never
thought
seen a
about
bath.
Strange Waters, did you think it'd turn into a bathhouse episode?
You don't know where the well's at.
Oh, no.
The well's in the bathhouse sitting with the towel from its well house legs, like, what are you
She's
doing
gonna
here?
roll a die, and one of us is actually in the well instead of the bath.
Should go to the bathhouse tonight, or in the afternoon, or whenever.
Yes, we should do this. But no, I've never had a bath or heard of one, actually. Apparently they're... You take them?
Yeah, you sit in the water, and then
It's very warm.
It
Those
sounds
with
dangerous.
And
Those
then
with more money will have them in their own homes. There are some communal ones. Some folks will simply use the river.
Are you not supposed to bathe in water? Like, it's
Oh, no.
like your skin does.
Your wings will get waterlogged and you won't be able to get out and you can drown. It's one of the punishments for my people.
Oh,
That sounds.
There are some of us who can breathe in water, but they can't leave it, but we don't speak of them much.
think of the bath as a kind of ritual where you cleanse yourself of the day's impurities and anoint yourself in really nice smelling oil.
Yes, a ritual. Let's go to this ritual house.
Oh, do you want to go now?
Yes, I want to see it now.
Okay.
Very well.
Begins to like pick crumbs out of the pastry thing, shove them in his mouth, down an entire cup of coffee,
Okay.
pull a face, milk, sugar, coffee.
Yeah, this is like the coffee that like you make in a tin can.
It's like diner house coffee. Nice.
All right, so we're going to the bathhouse.
Mm-hmm.
Bathhouse.
At least so.
Alrighty. Easily enough done. You all head off to the bathhouse, and it's at the end of the street outside of town, past the wall. You're greeted by a dwarven man. Hello, but it's not even noon yet. Can I help you?
We wanted to see what you have available for baths.
Oh, well, we have pretty much anything you do so desire. We are kept pretty well stocked by the folks nearby. A lot of the farmers like to make medicinal and I think it's called aromatic items.
I've heard of that.
Yeah, it's a wild new invention. But anyways, yes, welcome to the local bathhouse named TBD. We're actually the most recent building to be built around here.
That's
Can you
pretty
believe
cool.
that? Yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks. My mother's very proud. Yes. Can I get you a room? Do you want to go to the communal springs? They're not hot springs, unfortunately, but they are nice and they're a reasonable temperature most of the year.
Do you have a room where we could all be in that?
Yes, I do.
Do you guys want to do that?
Yes,
You
let's
turn-
experience this together.
Sulong has like just the very faint blush of red over the nose.
We
I
also
mean, if
have
that-
private rooms as well if you'd like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Great.
You want the private room?
I mean,
If it makes you feel any better, Sulong, I promise not to look.
We can wear our towels around each other.
Yep. But yes, you are able to get rooms if you would like, either individually or as groups or pairing off, whatever you like. But you are able to go and enjoy a lovely day, or at least a couple hours relaxing in the waters of the bathhouse. They have a bunch of lotions, potions. You can book a massage. Unfortunately, that person is not in yet for the day, as they normally do not have people coming first thing in the morning. They do not arrive until about noon.
I will say, if we're all in a same like area and it's like a bathing thing, then at this point, Sulong and Yuiza also see what Fisscourth saw of just the flat skin instead of that, because I'll have to take this off to bathe anyway.
I don't think they're as polite to stare, but they were very fascinating.
I'm sorry. I like your face.
Oh, thank you. I was born with it.
Yuiza's just gonna be like in a towel going there. She's gonna teach like Fisscourth like about bathing and what you can use for bathing. It's like, well, if you get mold, you're gonna want to dry off pretty quickly. But you could also use moisturizer for your wings, so they stay nice and supple.
I think Fiss, she's putting it on and then licking it off. Putting more on.
Don't spit it out.
It actually isn't that bad. Is this made to be spread across?
On your skin, but you're not supposed to put it in your mouth.
I see.
So
yes, of course.
you take your other. Can you? I don't know if you can do that. Can you spread like with your? Do you want me to do it?
Yes, please.
Okay.
This is a part of being a colony. We groom each other.
Sulong is just sitting like on a step in the water, and he has his hands clasped. Looks over to Fiss. I caught a fish.
There's a fish. Is there a fish in here? This is also an eatery.
Yeah, come here and take a look.
This just immediately sticks her nose. Where is it?
And he will just clench his clasped hands together. There's a jet of water.
Yeah, this does the full-on hooling scream.
Oh!
Just the horrible chattering, chittering sounds. You tricked me! You deceived me! There was no fish!
It was a joke, a jest, a little goof and gaff.
It was meant to be... Oh! Like a training exercise.
I take my training very seriously.
How do you do that? I wish you learned this water sorcery.
Arat will attempt to show how the water squeezing works, but is not sure if Fisscourth possesses the palms for it.
She absolutely doesn't. She's got a thumb, and then
Arat is also like just full in the water, just like top half of him only visible.
Might not have the right appendages to know how to do that.
You will have to do so in my stead, Yuiza.
Okay, she'll do it and then do it to Sulong.
Went up my nose.
That's what happens. If you're gonna be stupid, you better be tough. That's what my aunt always said.
Wonderful. So you all enjoy your time relaxing in the bathhouse. The attendant does come back at the end of your time and tallies up the total for the items that you chose to use, the lotions, potions, and will ring up the total for you all. It comes to about 5 gold each.
Arat actually just puts 20 down because you can feel it real quick. Just immediately puts it down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arat.
You're very kind. Should we see what should we see about the well today?
Let's see if it's moved.
Whoa. Let's bring it up with the guild first, take on the quest, so we're getting paid to do this and not doing it pro bono.
I did tell him about the well, and he said that we could investigate it should we want for a job.
Oh, all right. Cool.
Yeah, something like this would fall under the general purview of the guild, as they are responsible for the safety of the realm.
So essentially, once we're finished with this, report back about our findings.
Yeah, you just report back, fill out a report, get a little money.
Okay, so we should go now then.
Yes.
I want to see if my tooth is still in it.
Can immune with your tooth?
Yes.
Let's see if it's still there.
Let's see if it's still there.
Okay.
Actually, she says that, and then she just puts a hand on Fisscourth's shoulder-ish, and she stops, and you just see her eyes go black. If she tries to attach herself to this trinket, is it still there?
Still there.
Available? And she'll stay there for a moment. You see she doesn't move. She almost it's so still that you barely see her breathing. But then as she's done, she's like, it's still there.
was a strange hibernation you entered, but yes, the tooth is still there. We should go find it.
When I commune with my tooth, I can't see or hear.
All right. Are you heading directly back out of town to head for where you saw the well last?
Yes.
Yes.
Someone roll me a D100.
13.
Okay. When you return, the well is still in the same position where you saw it last. Has not moved. The lid is still closed. Same latch as last time. Although, when you look at it now, you notice that the well is slightly smaller. It's no longer 6 feet across, it's now 4 feet across.
It's smaller. So, you know how before I said it was really big and it was like 6 feet across?
Yes.
Now it's like, and she'll kind of like put herself almost sideways, so like standing on one on one foot. It's like shorter than, it's like I am 5 foot tall. It is shorter than me if I was sideways.
No, it's wide. It's still the same height. It's still normal well size, but it's more narrow. Sorry.
The mouth of the well has shrunk a little bit.
It shrunk.
Shrunk. It's still tall, but it has shrunk inwards.
Is it latched still?
It's still latched.
Do you want me to go in there? I'll go in there.
We should... You can't fly. You need a rope or something. I could go down there with you.
I have
Yes.
rope.
Yes!
So long you're strong, right?
I think I can handle this. You'll lift the lid and you see... Basically, he hops the lip of the well and in.
Why
But-
does he get to have all the fun?
As he's falling, his hands stick to the wall. And he'll reorientate himself so he can start crawling downwards.
How far down do you go?
He'll make it like 15 feet, look up back at the top of the well to see if they're looking down.
Are you sticking to the wall?
He's what now?
He's sticking to the wall. He's walking down the wall. Well, like he's on all fours, like crawling.
Fascinating.
Right?
Do you want me to do it the normal way, or...
No, this is
see
safer.
that way.
This is really cool. I didn't know you could do that. That's cool.
There's a lot of things people don't know about me. Crawl, 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 crawl.
Okay. So you continue down into the well. Are you going all the way down to where the water is? That's going to be about 60 feet.
My dark vision could still reach that then.
Okay.
I'll make it to basically the under lip right before the water.
Okay.
If it's like a sort of cavern situation.
It's a tube continuing straight down so far.
Hey guys, it's kind of just hits water from here.
Well, yeah, I know there's water. I told you when I when I was seeing through my tooth, it was just water.
Is the water deep?
It is deep.
I go in the water.
Go in the water or don't go in the water?
Don't go in the water.
Okay.
For what it's worth, I have a more positive feeling about this than I did before.
You do?
I do.
Should I not? Then I shouldn't be worried that my tooth is in there.
Well, that is still very confusing, unless it's supposed to be there.
Only for a little bit. Then it wasn't.
And then it appears that something about this well is existing outside of time, but I don't get a sense of danger.
I mean, if I push someone into a 60-foot well, I feel like that'd be dangerous.
Well, I might get a sense of danger if you push me into a 60-foot well, yes.
I wouldn't push you.
As long
As you're
you
having this argument, Sulong, what are you doing?
Just like he'll reach a hand out and flick the surface of the water.
It's wet. It's water.
Dulong, do you have a water skin on you?
Yeah, I do.
Perhaps take some. Maybe Miss Arabelle, with her science, can determine more about it.
You just hear the guzzling of water before he fills it back up.
As you do that, you hear, "What are you doing in my well?"
What?
Looks back up.
Did we all hear
Hello?
that?
That's mine. You can't take it. It belongs to me.
Okay, just pushing on the end of the water skin to eject the water back into the well. Sorry, didn't know this was occupied.
Have you come to play with me?
No. And he begins to crawl backwards up the well.
Can we all hear this, or is it just him down there?
Roll me perception.
19.
15.
You can hear Sulong talking to someone, but you don't hear another voice.
Somebody down there.
Shilong, are you okay?
Does someone need help?
Is the voice femme, mask?
It's young. You're not quite sure.
Are you stuck down here?
No.
Oh, well.
Do you want me to come out? I can come out. I haven't been out in a long time.
That dice is gone forever.
Is Yuiza up there?
What?
That's their name, right?
How do you know about them?
Oh, they gave me a present. We're friends
Yuiza!
Yeah?
Scrambling backwards up the well. Yuiza!
Yeah?
Where are you going?
I'll be right back. I will be right back. I'll be right back. Breaches the top and then just scrambles back down to the ground.
Was there one of the water dwelling ones down there?
Takes the lid, puts it back on. Nothing down there. Let's go.
No. You were
Why
talking to somebody.
You were screaming my name and you were talking to yourself.
Yeah, there's a disembodied voice of a child down there. They asked for you by name because you gave them a gift. They told me
My
that
tooth?
they could come out because they haven't been out in a while.
Well, why not invite the child out?
I don't think you were there for the story I told the other two, where they're, after reading a cursed scroll, you hear the whispers of a dead woman that says 7 days, and in 7
Did
days...
it say 7 days?
No, none of us read a scroll.
No, nobody.
Read this scroll.
I only read about financial literacy.
Which is important.
I'm gonna move the lid a little bit. Hello?
You don't hear anything.
I don't hear anything.
We may have to go back down again.
Can I go back down this time?
I will hold on to your rope.
I don't know if you can sustain my weight.
Just tie a rope around a tree. I'm gonna come down with you.
Okay.
Do we perhaps all want to go down if you are doing this, or should
There's
somebody
not a lot of space. To be
You
fair.
won't be able to go down together. You will have to go one at a time.
Okay.
It's not, you can technically all fit in the well above the water.
Just like a line.
Yeah, but it'll be in a line.
Lime.
I think some of us should stay up here in case, how about I go down and then so long you stay holding the rope, and so do you guys, and if I need help, you just whoop.
You call for help, and we will be here to pull you up.
Yes.
Okay,
Okay.
I got this. She ties herself and starts climbing down.
You climb down into the well. How far do you go?
She'll go maybe 5-6 feet above the water. Hello?
Your voice
Did you-
echoes off of the sides.
I don't hear anyone so long. Did you do something?
I touched the water before.
I'm going to just reach out, go a little bit down, then just reach out and put my hand in the water.
That tickles.
Hi.
You're Yuiza. I liked your present.
Oh, did you?
I'm gonna keep it forever.
Okay. What's your name?
My name?
Yeah.
You know my name. Silly goose, we're friends.
Oh, I don't think you ever told me your name.
You know it.
TM, do I know the name?
Roll history check.
14 plus 0, so 14.
You don't know their name.
I'm sorry, I don't know your name. I'm thinking really hard, but it doesn't seem to pop up.
Do you want to play a game?
Wait, yeah, what's the game? You said it was fun. What does the game do?
Oh, here. I can show you if you want.
I can't go in the water.
Sure you can. It's great.
I'm not like you. I can't breathe in the water.
You don't need to breathe, silly. Yuiza, roll me a strength saving throw.
I'm really tired.
Yuiza, I want to go in the well after Sulong told me that there was a creepy voice in it.
Let's see what's in the well.
That's a natural 20 for an 8.
So you don't fall into the water as a creature comes up out of it and grabs for your arm. You see a humanoid person with long hair that looks to be kelp-like in nature, with eyes that are fathomless like the oceans, and they appear to be smaller than you are, possibly child-sized, possibly early adolescence, and they say, "Oh, come on, you want to play with me? It's gonna be great. You gave me a present, that means you want to play."
I can't play right now.
Why not? Isn't that why you came back?
I came back to find out who you were and what this well was.
Oh, it's my home.
Do you often play with people here?
Sometimes. I've been alone for a very long time. But then you gave me a present, so I came to find you. We're gonna be the best of friends.
I can't stay in this well.
Why not?
I just can't. And she's gonna pull on the rope. You know, if you ever want to come up to the top of the well, I can see you.
I don't want to go to the top of the well. People are mean there.
There are some really nice people.
Everyone roll me a perception check.
Pulling on the rope.
Nat 20 for 24.
7.
18.
Okay. All right. You hear the sloshing of water as something comes up towards Yuiza when it tried to grab her arm. Sulong, you see this humanoid creature come up out of the water, and it's almost as if the water itself is holding it up.
Begins to pull the rope. Yuiza's slowly getting higher and higher away from this thing.
Where are you going? Come back.
I can't stay here.
I just want to play.
I'm afraid. I know, but I can't play like you play.
Yuiza, does an 11 hit you?
No?
Okay. You see something shoot past you from it, trying to reach from you again.
Oh, goodbye.
No, come back.
Come back. I just want to play.
Why won't you play with me? I just want to play.
Once Yuiza hits the top, I'm just gonna, like, what is down there?
She's just gonna try to push the lid there.
As you do that, there is a massive wave that comes up out of this well. And I will need you all to roll a dexterity saving throw.
19.
9.
18.
I rolled a
Okay, dirty 20.
All right, so if you save, you will only take half of the 15 points of bludgeoning damage as a tidal wave suddenly rockets out of the water.
7.
What's the DC?
I hope
13.
it's above a 20. Okay, thank God.
I have a 9.
Okay, you'll take the full 15 bludgeoning.
Yuiza's looking drowned.
Yuiza has been knocked prone.
Enough of wells. We are going now. And Fizz is
Once,
just starting to pull.
and once the water hits you all suddenly hear in your head, "I said we're going to play." And this is where we will return next week as we roll into initiative.
Yay!
As we fight a well. Thank you everyone so much for coming and hanging out with us. This is why you don't throw your body parts into strange containers of water.
Why does Sulong get to have all the fun? Because of this huge stuff.
Thank you everyone for joining us for tonight's episode of Luck and Chaos. Don't forget to leave a review on your favorite podcast platform of choice. It really helps our show grow. Arat was played by Zachary Vaudo. Yuiza was played by Alessa Vamp. Fisscourth was played by Abby. Sulong was played by RJ. And your GM and producer today was Sara Roberts. The Luck and Chaos theme, A Twist of Fate, was composed by Sneakernet. Download it now on Bandcamp. Link in the show notes below. Check out our show notes for cast info and links to the third-party content featured in this game. If you'd like to join us for our Patreon-only after show, visit us on patreon.com/thehypegoblin. This show and others like it are made possible by the generous support from our patrons.